Mr. Bell is getting married.
Yes?
Moo! I'll finish mowing the grass, Madame Gazelle.
Very good, Mr. Bull. Will we see you again tomorrow?
No, I can't do tomorrow.
Oh, taking a day off. I'm glad to hear it. Are you doing something nice?
I'm getting married.
What? Well, who to?
Mrs. Cow. We are very much in love.
But why didn't you tell me before?
I didn't think you'd be that interested.
Of course I am interested. Everyone will be interested. This is very important. It's always last minute. Oh, people never consider.
Hello, Madame Gazelle. What? Getting married? Oh, that's fantastic news. Hello? Hello? You'll never guess what.
Marvellous! Champion!
Oh, that's nice.
Madame Gazelle, what's going on?
Mr. Bull is getting married.
Oh! What does getting married mean? It's when there's a big party called a wedding. And two people promise to love each other forever.
And that's it. Job done. Then they argue about who is washing the dishes.
I saw someone get married on TV once. They stand up and say yes, and then they kiss. Yuck!
I don't think I want to get married.
Home time, children.
But we only just got here, Madame Gazelle.
There's too much to do, Danny. I have to get ready. Everybody has to get ready. Action stations! Oh!
What?
Mummy, guess what's happening?
Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow getting married?
How did you know that?
Everyone knows, Peppa. It's the biggest news in town.
Any more news?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Wait for me and George.
It is Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow.
Hello! Oh,
Congratulations! What are you doing here?
We were hoping that Peppa might be the bridesmaid.
Oh, yes, please. What's that?
The bridesmaid is the bride's special friend for the day.
Who's the bride?
That's me.
Come in. Oh, how do you look so calm?
So, tell us, where are you getting married?
Oh, just somewhere outside.
If the weather's nice.
Getting a wedding ready is such a lot of work.
It must have taken ages to get ready.
Oh, we haven't done anything yet.
Huh?
What do you mean? What about the cake?
No, we haven't got a cake. You need a wedding cake.
I like cake.
And what about the dress? Oh, you need a wedding dress?
Do I?
Yes!
Yes. And what about the wedding rings? Oh, I knew there was something I'd forgotten.
You can't get married without wedding rings.
I suppose those things would be nice.
They're not just nice, they are important.
It's not a wedding without a cake, a dress and rings.
But how can we organise all of that by tomorrow?
It's impossible.
How will Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow get a cake, a dress and wedding rings in time for their wedding?
Getting ready for the wedding.
Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow are getting married, but they have no cake, no dress and no rings, and the wedding is tomorrow.
OK, let's keep calm and just search for wedding planner. Click here.
Congratulations! Wedding, is it?
Yes, they need a cake, a dress and wedding rings.
And it's tomorrow.
Who is the bridesmaid?
That's me!
OK, Peppa, it's your job to help me do this right. First things first, what kind of cake do you like? Mummy Pig, just get everyone baking.
Yes, Miss Rabbit.
You two come with me and Peppa.
This is the shopping centre.
Shoes, clothes, wedding rings.
Ah, hello. Can I help you?
Yes, we would like to buy some rings, please.
I've got some lovely pineapple rings here. Very tasty.
Not rings for eating.
We are getting married.
I see. Well, this ring is good for a lot of things. It's rubber, and you blow it up like this.
That's for swimming. They want rings for fingers.
Well, why didn't you say so? I've got a very special ring for fingers here. Made from pure frozen jelly.
Ooh, it's very cold.
Yes, it needs to be cold, or it melts.
Great. But do you have any rings made of metal?
Well, if that's what you want.
Oh, it's perfect.
Is that a precious stone?
It's toffee, but it can be a stone if you like.
Daddy Pig and George are at home making chocolate cake.
Yes, if you make the carrot cake, Mr. Rabbit, that would be lovely.
Miss Rabbit is taking Peppa and Mrs. Cow to the dressmakers.
Hello, we need a wedding dress for tomorrow.
Oh, that's wonderful. Put the kettle on. So, what sort of dress would you like? We've got big and bunchy, small and slippy, or a big tent thing?
Ooh, that's the one for me.
Well, it's important you feel comfy on your special day. Okay, what color do you like?
I love yellow.
The top one or the bottom one?
That one.
Is that enough to make a dress?
This is just a scrap to cut up and play with.
Oh,
This is the dress cloth.
wow.
Now we just need to measure you, cut the cloth, and sew it up. There! Try it on. Now, what happened to that tea? Oh, that's nice.
Merci.
You look beautiful.
Now take it off and you can take it home.
Those are big scissors.
Yes! Dressmaking shears. They're not for children, but we can cut something together if you like.
Yes, please.
Here's the tea.
Whoops! One last cut.
Right, rings and dress sorted. Where's the cake?
You can choose. Carrot, banana, fruit or chocolate.
Oh, I cannot decide.
You don't have to. Just stack and add icing. 2 tiny people on top. And that's what a wedding cake looks like.
Hooray!
Want to see the tiny people, George? There! Put a cake box on top and we're ready for the big day. Now we can all sit down and relax.
Quelle journée.
Everything is finally ready. Tomorrow is Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow's wedding day.
Wedding day!
It is the day of Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow's wedding.
Mr. Bull, you look smart. Is everything all right? My brother, the best man, is not very well, so he can't come. Would you be my best man, Daddy Pig, and look after the rings? Me? I would be honoured. I will think of a speech. Speech? People usually make speeches on wedding days.
Mrs. Cow is going to put on her wedding dress.
I'm so excited.
I can't wait to see it.
You're a big cheese.
How did that happen?
I think it was the cutting in the dress shop.
Don't be sad, Mrs. Cow.
I'm not sad. I love cheese. This is the best wedding dress I could
crying, Peppa, and there is happy crying.
There is a lot of happy crying on wedding days. Mr. Bull and Daddy Pig have arrived for the wedding.
Mr. Bull, so handsome. Look, my sisters are here to play music.
It needs to be louder!
And everyone has been getting things ready.
Mrs. Cow is now ready to go to the wedding.
Where's the car?
Don't panic! I've got my helicopter.
Mrs. Cow is not normally late.
What's that?
It's a huge piece of cheese!
That's so beautiful.
Oh, it's not cheese.
It's Mrs. Cow in her wedding dress.
Merci.
Beautiful. Thank you, Miss Rabbit.
I'll just find somewhere to park.
Quiet, please, for the wedding promises. Do you, Mr. Bull, promise to love and care for Mrs. Cow forever?
I do.
And do you, Mrs. Cow, promise to love and care for Mr. Bull forever?
I do.
Who has the rings?
I do.
These rings show your promise to love and care for each other.
When they put rings on fingers, that means they are married.
Now you are married! You may kiss!
Who wants a piece of this beautiful wedding cake? How did that happen?
I think George sat on it.
Never mind. It will still taste delicious.
It looks like the layers of earth I see when I'm digging up the road. It is the most beautiful cake I have ever seen.
There is a lot of happy crying on wedding days.
I just want to say that Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow are lovely.
And I want to say, well done and happy wedding.
I love you, Mrs. Cow.
I love you too, Mr. Bull.
There is a lot of happy crying on wedding days.
And weren't we lucky with the weather?
Yay! Now we can jump up and down in muddy puddles.
Let's party!
It is the best wedding ever!
Peppa loves a muddy puddle wedding. Everyone loves a muddy puddle wedding.